The official feasibility report summarizes all analyses performed and documents the final recommended plan. It outlines the identified problem, evaluated alternatives, benefit-cost methodology, and environmental impacts. The report justifies the final recommendation as serving the best interest based on factors considered. Publishing this thorough report is a milestone that provides evidence to support further decisions on congressional authorization and appropriation.
We've talked through the analysis involved in the feasibility study. Can you explain the purpose and importance of the official feasibility report that the team produces?
So the official report, which can be a large document, generally the main report itself will be 200, maybe 300 pages, so it's pretty substantial. But it's often backed up by thousands of pages of technical analysis from our engineers, our biologists, economists, and others. But that document is the basis for another document that we call the Chief's Report. The Chief of Engineers will prepare a report that goes to Congress and goes to the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works and OMB. That is called the Chief's Report, and it summarizes what that feasibility report is saying. So the feasibility report is our official record. Here's how we examine the problem. Here are the alternatives we considered. Here's all the work we did for our environmental compliance, so things to satisfy NEPA and other laws and statutes for environmental compliance. All of that is captured there. The Chief's Report is a very brief summary of that, explaining to Congress, that the Chief recommends this project. Here's how much it'll cost. Here's what the project actually is, and then here are all the benefits. And here's who our partner is that we will work together for implementation. So the feasibility, the law tells us you will prepare a feasibility report to report to Congress. The recommended project, what alternatives were considered, what are the benefits and the costs of the project and those alternatives, and then what does the engineering performance look like? Describe the engineering and the feasibility level design work that you've done. So the feasibility is created to address, that requirement Congress placed into law, but then it also serves this as the basis for that Chief's report, where the Chief reports his recommendation.
And how does this comprehensive report support the project moving to congressional review and potential funding?
We're in the late stages of our feasibility study, and really throughout the process, we're working together as one core. So we have folks in the regional office in Dallas, we have folks at the headquarters in DC, and we're constantly coordinating with them about the work that we're doing on the feasibility. But when we get to the end and we have our final feasibility, and as we create the draft of that Chief's report, we've completed the reviews and the review process. And we work closely with the folks in Dallas and in DC on that package. What did the review processes determine? What was found? How were those issues addressed? What is that recommended project that's described in that Chief's report? We'll work with them, closely on those two things, documenting the reviews and documenting the recommendation. And we'll also prepare for them a briefing deck that is used by them to brief ASA and OMB. So that package that we create with them, that becomes the official project package going forward. So this time that we invest working closely with them while we're doing our study, it actually helps us, because at the DC level, they then, at the headquarters, they then become the spokesperson for our project with ASA, with OMB. Because ultimately what we need is for OMB to send what is called a clearance letter. They tell the Congress, hey, yes, this is the Chief's recommendation, and it is consistent with the administration's policies, and it is good for you to consider for budgeting. So it helps us kind of close the loop there, where we've got the technical work that's all documented in our feasibility report, but then also these budget recommendations so that we can keep the project moving forward towards design and construction. Those two things will come together through that coordination with the DC level folks, so that ultimately, the Congress has the whole package, and they can begin preparing, authorizations and appropriations for us to keep the project going.
The feasibility report undergoes review by Army leadership and staff for policy compliance, including HQ, USACE, ASACW, and sometimes the Secretary. If the report recommends a project, the Corps pursues congressional authorization by providing testimony justifying the project based on report findings. Congressional committees review conclusions and determine whether to authorize it, potentially through a Water Resources Development Act. With congressional authorization, the project proceeds to pre-construction engineering and design, where the Corps requests appropriations from Congress for funding.
In your role, you are constantly involved in the journey of the feasibility report, from the district level through Army leadership and staff to Congress for authorization. Can you share your experience in facilitating the smooth progression of the report through these stages, highlighting your strategies for effective communication and collaboration with key stakeholders and non-federal sponsors during the critical process?
So yes, I just described how how we take our final feasibility and other products, and we coordinate closely with the headquarters. At the same time, the district commander will be doing similar things with the command chain, but working together, we will make sure. Our main strategy is to make sure that there aren't any unanswered questions in the command chain above us, making sure that our commanders in Dallas as well as in DC understand our project. So our whole goal is to communicate, address any questions so that we can put any concerns to rest. Again, backed up by the analysis the team has done, but that's our primary strategy, is to use the strength of the work that our team has done, what they've invested in the analysis and the feasibility study, but making sure that that's understood. There's a lot there. It's complicated stuff, and making sure that that is communicated in easily understood terms, so that the folks in DC who aren't in the project area, they understand the value of the project. How is this helping the local community? But then also, how does it fit the Corps' missions? Why is it appropriate for the Corps to invest in this project and in this community? And just making sure that that's clearly understood. That way, again, that can be repeated forward as the process continues up the DC chain.
So that is the second phase of the executing a project in the Civil Works program. As we conclude this journey through the feasibility study phase, we've gained valuable insights into the meticulous process of identifying and addressing community challenges. The next video will explore the pre-construction engineering and design phase.